What's up, guys? Brett Okamoto from ESPN, joined by Ali Abdelaziz, one of the most powerful, maybe the most powerful manager, would you say, in MMA? Ali, is that how you would like to be introduced on this one?
I'm just a servant, man. I'm a servant. All the guys I work with, I got no power.
Well, I would say that, it's been a very crazy last 48 hours in the sport, and you have been right in the middle of both of them. I mean, we have Islam Makhachev was supposed to fight Charles Oliveira, UFC 294. Instead, he is facing Alex Volkanvoski in a rematch, and then Kamaru Usman stepping in on short notice against Khamzat Chimaev. So why don't you just tell me how the last 48 hours have been for you? Like, when did you start to become aware of both of these things, and just kind of give us an inside look behind the curtains of how these things come together?
I think what happened first was the Islam situation, and but I remember when this fight booked, Islam told me this guy is not going to show up, and I said no, because he didn't want it. He wanted to move the date, and he went publicly. He said I don't want. And I said, no, it's a title fight. I think he wanted Hunter. Hunter told me, I think, I think it was Hunter. I don't remember. It was Hunter or Sean. And I asked if this guy really going to show up. And they said, yes, he's going to show up. Mm-hmm. And I listen, this guy's always been straight with me that whatever they told me, I take it to the bank, right? And after that, this happened, I got a hold of Habib first. And I always call Habib first. And Habib said, it doesn't matter, man. Anybody, who cares? And I called Islam. Actually, I texted him, he was sleeping. And he responded back to me. He said, whatever Habib say yes is yes. Just make sure if some King Kong can make 155, bring him here and I'll fight him. And I said, no problem. I hit the UFC back. I said, listen, it's a go. Take not even an hour. Say it's a good to go, and we made it happen. It's very easy, simple. And after that, and Islam said, hey, you remember what I told you, right? I said, yeah, I remember. He said Charles is not going to show up. But listen, Frankie Edgar, I remember when he fought Jose Aldo, and I posted this photo. He have picture way worse, and he still fought. But he went to the right doctors and got the right stitches. I'm not going to ask question Charles Oliveira's heart or anything about him, but I feel, I don't make this decision, but I feel he missed his opportunity to fight for a world title. Alexander Volkanvoski took the fight. He looked like the hero, but realistically, who really the hero? I believe Islam is the hero. I give him credit because after Islam, he beat him. All these people, coaches, all these people around him, they're going to say he was on a 1 week notice, right? Mm-hmm. It's you have to give credit to Islam because Islam is a lose-lose situation. Islam beat his ass and he will finish him, said, oh, he didn't have a training camp, right? Mm-hmm. If he loses, oh, you lost to a guy on a week notice, right? But I'm going to tell you something. It's a completely different ball game now, boys. It's in Abu Dhabi. This is not no New Zealand with 12-hour hydration and people playing games. And, they can bring everybody with them. This hooker, everybody, they make this fake news. I want to see these guys go to Abu Dhabi. I want to see all those guys who's talking come to Abu Dhabi. And we have some for you too. Like, I think Alexander Volkanvoski is a good guy. I like one of his coaches. I like his manager. I think Ash, this is his manager, is a good guy. Mm-hmm. But everybody around him, they built a whole bunch of excuses for him and lies. But now, it's a lot of unanswered questions, like Islam say. We're going to answer all of it. This is one part. Second part is, and that was crazy. I think Hunter reached out to Vettori about fighting. Vettori is 226 pounds. And when I heard the news, and I think Roman Delinsky reached out to me, and I let them know too. And hey, Roman want to fight.
And when was this, by the way? Like when?
That was right when Paulo Costa showed his arm, right? It's my job. I reach out today. If you guys want somebody, Roman can fight. And it's a big fight. Khamzat is one of the biggest names in the sport. To fight him, it's something big. You know what I'm saying? And and Roman was willing to fight. But anyway, Hunter hit me up, and I think Dana was with him and Sean. I don't, but it was some people in the room, and they said, "What do you think about Kamaru versus Khamzat?" And I said, "What weight?" And he said, "Middleweight." And I said, "Let me call you back." Back in my mind, I was like, "Why?" Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Kamaru's, you know. And lately I've been talking to Kamaru about fighting, and he's like, nah, nothing interests me, nah. And I called him, and Kamaru, his eyes lit like Christmas tree, and he starts smiling like a psychopath. I was like, this guy knows something I don't know. And he's like, hey, they're gonna take care of me? I said, yes. And he said, let's do it. I called back, and Dana called me. Dana was at dinner. And he told me, you know, Dana's like, for me, like, I have to stop being a fanboy because I look up to him so much. And he said, can you imagine Kamaru going in there? Just amount of like the buzz of things. And I said, you know what? And Kamaru just told me he's in. And I was up to 1:30 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I was talking to Hunter, and I went to his place actually. We was talking, play some ping pong. He thought he can beat me. He did it. Anyway, it's honestly, man, it was a good environment to do business. It was no stress. And it wasn't hard. Everybody's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
It was easy. You know why it was easy? Because Kamaru's not playing game. UFC is not playing game. Islam is not playing games. Nobody playing games. And this is why Kamaru Usman was trained the #1 in the world yesterday, right? And if anybody out there, you know, John Jones, right? When he's supposed to fight Chael Sonnen, they cancel the whole event, right?
Yeah.
What about Islam willing to fight a guy who's the pound for pound again, who have a close fight with, right? And the real hero of this whole situation, all the 4 guys who fight. And I will give it to Khamzat too. I'll give it to, you know, but in a way, what about Kamaru Usman is like, you know, he's been training, but not training for a fight. He always in shape. Kamaru's always in shape. He probably gonna fight a guy who's gonna weigh 210 when he fight. Kamaru maybe is gonna weigh 190, 195 max. And he have to kind of eat a lot. UFC take care of them, Islam, and they take care of Kamaru. Thank you. And next week, we're gonna have one of the biggest pay-per-view of the year because you have 4 gangsters willing to fight to do. Islam have everything to lose. If Kamaru loses, he have a 3-fight losing streak, right? Yeah. They have lose. Legacies on the line. But guess what? I see a quote from Dana White today. I say, guys like Khamzat, Kamaru, Islam, and Volkanovski make our sport great, right? Mm-hmm. And it's good, man. It's good. Like everybody talk about UFC this, UFC that, this. Hey, they are the best in the business. They the easiest people to deal with, but come straight. Come straight. You know what I'm saying? And they don't come at me with, they're always straight. And I'm always straight. And we agree and disagree. Like today, like this whole USADA thing. I think that's the best decision the UFC made. My opinion. You know, it was good. It was good partnership for everyone to be happy. Because normally, one person not happy. Part of the deal. But everybody's happy. UFC happy. Kamaru's happy. Islam happy.
Yeah.
Everybody's happy.
And all of this happened because they announced obviously Islam and Volkanovski on Tuesday, a contender series. That's when he confirmed it. So you had spoke to Islam like that day, and like those phone calls had taken place that day on Tuesday.
I think they announced the fight even before I get final answer from Kamaru for Islam, and Islam said, "Hey, they don't give you respect." I said, "No, I already talked to Habib already." You know, I didn't even give an answer, but I feel it's like, and I told I think Dana or Hunter, I don't remember. You must trust me, huh?
Yeah.
And I said, we know Islam is not going to turn it down.
Yeah.
I said, you're right, he didn't. Right.
And then what was the night that you were playing ping pong with Hunter? Was that after contender series, or was that Wednesday night?
This is, I think, Tuesday night. That was for Kamaru. It was Kamaru's thing was Tuesday night. Tuesday earlier was Islam. You know, it was two. And man, you gotta give it up to Hunter because he told me he didn't. He stayed up 24 hours, tried to get Alexander Volkanvoski. It was a different time.
Yeah.
You have to give it to him. But listen, man, Hunter, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, Dana White, these guys, they're the best of the best, man. They do a great job about keeping how you have to they make a main event better than the one before. It's crazy, right?
So quickly.
It's crazy. But you know, listen, at the end of the day, I'll give myself a little bit credit. I wasn't being a jerk. I didn't try to ask him $1 I did, you know, got some little bit Dana White privilege, little bit, not much at all, you know. And it was easy, man. Like, you know, these guys easy, man. They make our life easy, you know. And I can't just. I'm grateful the way they handled the situation with these two fights. They cannot be more professionals, and also credit to my guys too. They did not. I swear to God, Islam. He said, "I know he was not going to show up. I don't care. Give me somebody." I said, "Okay." You know.
So this is going to be a tough question to answer, and it's going to. I think this is going to be something that you know, gets answered not today, but down the road. But what does this do to Justin Gaethje? Do you think? Because
Justin Gaethje. Listen, let me tell you something. Justin Gaethje is fighting Islam Makhachev winning. Justin Gaethje is fighting before Ramadan. Justin Gaethje did everything he needed to ask to do. Charles Oliveira disqualified him. He disqualified himself by sparring the way he sparred. You don't spar like that 8 days out from the fight. And you don't go to a doctor, doesn't stitch you from the inside out, like Dana said, right? It's on him. Like, listen, I respect Charles. I respect his team. They bring a lot of excitement in the sport, but he's back in the line. Maybe they can have him fight Conor or Chandler or somebody. You know, who cares? But
and if I ask Dana and Hunter the same question, that same question, will they say Justin Gaethje, or is that still to be determined?
Brother, listen, I'm just saying this is what I think.
Yeah.
Dana White, he's the boss. But in a way, I'm gonna argue. But listen, the plan was Islam to fight Justin Gaethje February, March. That was the plan. I don't think Justin Gaethje did anything wrong. He showed up, Utah, main event, knocked out Dustin Poirier. Who does this to Dustin Poirier? Nobody. Literally, he did everything. And I believe we already saw Charles Oliveira with Islam. I think people looking, the way Gaethje looking lately, and I think Islam doesn't trust Charles Oliveira anymore. For him to train for him, why? You know? And that's it. You know, I hope Charles Oliveira recover well. I hope he heal, and you know, he can do whatever he want to do. But it's not. And
Kamaru's in Florida, right? Will he have Trevor Whitman in his corner? Is Trevor going out to Florida, or what's happening?
Kamaru will have Trevor Whitman in his corner. He will have Henry Hoof in his corner. He will have you know, his normal corner. But it's a you know, and this is what's happening. But you know, Trevor is always going to be in Kamaru's corner. You know, he's been a big part of this, and Henry been a big part of his career too. And I think Kamaru at this point of his life, he wants to make everything right with everybody. He want to be Mr. Perfect.
Yeah, that's cool. Because I know that he maintained a good relationship with Henry, but that'll be the first time that Henry and Trevor will both be in his corner, I believe, right?
100%. And I'm glad Kamaru make a decision to make, you know, this decision. You know, I believe Trevor still is the head coach. I don't know. This is kind of Kamaru's thing, but they both amazing coaches, man. To have these two guys in the corner, you can fight an army, no problem.
Well, that was obviously the big headlines that came out this week, and they were massive. And then we're going to see those two fights next week. So let's quickly run through some of your other guys. You don't want
to talk about USADA?
I mean, you can share your thoughts on USADA. I think everybody's sort of kind of like getting to the bottom of it still.
Honestly, I think USADA did okay with the sport, but I think the way USADA treated the fighters was not good as a manager. The way They don't treat them good. They treat them like they bullied them. I really do. And I hope these new people listen to me. This is without this athlete, we have nothing. Don't go to people at 6 a.m, waking them up. Don't go take a blood from Islam Makhachev right before his fight. Don't do this kind of thing. The day of the weigh-in when he's drained. You understand? Don't go to the guy's room when he's cutting weight. You understand? And this is everything USADA did that. You understand? And I felt like, guys, the application sucked, never worked. You understand? And I hope, but you gotta give them credit. They clean up the sport, but they didn't treat the fighter. Maybe they treat the UFC good. They don't treat the athlete good. They come. I remember one time they come 5 o'clock in the morning. Habib, 2 people sitting under his bed, and he was sleeping. And I was like, "What are you guys doing?" You understand? Like you cannot. They sat in the floor, 6 a.m, for him to wake up at 9 to test him because he said, "I'm sleeping. I have to spar." And I think that was very unprofessional. And honestly, man, with guys like Jeff Novitzky and Hunter, these 2 guys like geniuses. That's all you need, And now they got this former FBI dude. But I'm glad this guy that say trained. He's a world champion in jiu-jitsu. He understands the respect of the athlete. I think this is very important.
I think there were some flaws in the program. I just think that it was USADA has a long history of drug testing in other sports, and this sport is so unique for so many different reasons. And they sometimes didn't tailor their approach to this sport. They didn't like acknowledge that there are some real kind of sensitive things about this sport, some differences in this sport. So it was a great thing to get drug testing in the sport, but it was just it had its flaws.
In the way you want to talk, I don't care if them talking about Conor. I like when people talk about Conor. I don't give. But in a way, they use him also as a scapegoat. I think that was a little bit cheap. But he is a piece of trash. But that's what I think of him. And he's probably cheating also. That's what I think of him too. But this is it's America. I can say whatever I want.
What does this do for Belal? I think a lot of us were kind of sitting back like guessing that it was going to be Belal versus Kamaru Usman. So where does this put Belal?
First of all, this fight people talked about it. It was never even close of happening. It was talked. But this was going to make the difference. But Belal, if Belal do not fight for the title next, we should all just go home and pack up our stuff. Listen, people can say whatever you want about Dana White. When Dana say something, and I love it when he says sleep and sitting. When Dana gave his word and say something, Belal is fighting for the title. You ever see Dana said he's fighting for the title, didn't fight because it was the guy. If the guy get injured maybe or something happened, yes, rematch. But if Dana White told you fighting for the title next, take this to the bank and cash it. Because Dana White is not a liar. He talk a lot of but he's not a liar. He's not a liar, 100%. Belal sit comfortably, let these 2 guys fight, and after that, Belal will get a shot.
Could you see a situation in which, Islam really wants to go to 170, and if the winner were to mention him and say, okay, Islam, come on up, is that a situation where you could see Belal getting skipped over?
Islam and Habib are such a good people, good human beings. Even if they have the opportunity to jump over Belal, I don't think they will do it, but this is me thinking. He's our brother, how Islam gonna jump him, Islam is gonna fight there, Belal gonna fight, and we see what happened, because Islam have to fight Gaethje next after he beat, inshallah beat one of those.
Yeah. And how about Umar? What's the latest on him? What's the update? When can we see him? And then, obviously they were fast tracking him. They wanted to put him against a top 5 opponent. Who's he going to be facing?
Brother, they're not fast tracking him. Umar, have everything in his arsenal. Not to be a 1 division champion, 2 division champion. Umar is a certified, bona fide ninja. Umar is good everywhere. And Umar in the training is not different in the fight. Umar is one of the best talent I seen coming out of Dagestan. He's just very good everywhere. You know, as you see to his brother, that he's this very talented individual.
So how soon is he into coming back? What's the
February,
timeline?
March, he'll be ready.
February, March.
Hopefully March, hopefully February 17th.
February 17th, you're already kind of discussing it?
February 17th, I think is going to be interesting.
5-round fight?
No, I think it'll be 3 rounds.
Okay. All right.
But, you know, listen, who in charge of that is Sean Shelby. I'm just saying what I'm hoping for, you know?
All right.
You know, and it's a lot of, next Saturday is going to determine where is Islam going to fight next and where is Umar going to fight next.
Okay. Okay.
All right. I know I'm throwing a lot of curveball on you, but
no, we're able to read between the lines a little bit. I mean, you can you don't have to spell it out for us completely. Last thing I want to ask you about is Usman Nurmagomedov and his performance at Bellator. And I got to be honest, Ali, you're a guy who knows a lot about the business. You're obviously having conversations with people all the time. There's a lot of discussions about the future of Bellator and whether it's going to exist, you know, beyond November. What do you see as the future of Usman, and like how is all of these rumors and speculation impacting, you know, some of the guys that you have over there, including Usman, who's obviously a very, very talented guy?
Listen, it doesn't matter if PFL buy it or don't buy it. These people have contract. They bond contract. Viacom is have to fulfill this contract.
Yeah.
If Don Davis and Pete Murray bought this, they obligated. They have to fulfill this contract. At least a year, 2 years. And if they want to put it together at the same time, they can. If they call me and say, hey, we want Usman to fight in Saudi Arabia, and they show for the final of the Grand Prix, I'm gonna say yes. You know, why not? But the same company, doesn't matter. Long as they give him, he's not in a tournament, PFL have a tournament, and they have pay-per-view model. But for me, it is what it is. I think Mike Hogan, Scott Coker did an amazing job, built one of the best roster in Bellator history right now. You know, Patrick Mix, Johnny Ablin, many of the guys, you can argue they are the best in the world. What's his name? The light heavyweight champion too. You can argue they are the best in the world. And I think now, you know, if they merge with PFL, I think it's going to be interesting. You know, I think it's pretty interesting. I think it's too much firepower. The question is, can they handle this, so many fighters, so many shows, right? You know, I believe Bellator have a great team by itself, and I think PFL have a great team by itself. I'm not in favor for Bellator, for PFL, and I don't think they will do that, to handle everything. I think will be too much, right? And listen, there's a lot of smart people involved, Don and Pete and everybody in Bellator, Kogan. You know, there's a lot of people, very smart people involved, and have been doing this for a long time, right? And I think, you know, it is what it is, man. You know, Viacom, they want to give it up to somebody else. Yep. It's okay. Yep. But Usman Nurmagomedov, I believe, he's 25 years old, man. He's still a prospect. In my eyes, he's a champion of Bellator, but he's still a prospect. At 27, he'll be pound for pound best fighter in the world. I believe that. He's 25 years old.
Yeah. I mean, right now, you would say he's I mean, where would you rank him in the lightweight division? If Islam is one? And...
Top three.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev is the best lightweight on the planet. Is the pound for pound best fighter in the world. He's on how many fight streak? 20. He ended Charles Oliveira with 12 winning streak. He ended Alexander Volkanvoski with 11 winning streak, 25 winning streak, and he's on 13 or 14 winning streak. He's the pound for pound greatest fighter in the world today. People can say whatever they want. You understand? But maybe because he's from Russia, or maybe he have an accent. I don't really care. Who cares? But he's the pound for pound best fighter in the world today. Nobody even close.
I really appreciate it, man. I mean, this news took everybody kind of by surprise over the last week, and I knew that obviously you were right there in the middle of it. And I love hearing those stories about like you at Hunter's house playing ping pong, talking about you know, Kamaru taking this fight. I love the behind the scenes stories of that. So thank you for sharing them.
Because at the end of the day, man, like everybody in this business, like we all almost like, I don't have no friend outside this. We almost like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying we like best friend. We have to have friendship. It doesn't mean we're not professionals.
Yeah.
A lot of time, these guys does a lot of stuff I don't like too. But in a way, I'm gonna speak my mind. But it's respect. It's 100% is respect. And if somebody at this willing to meet me in his house or my house at 1:30 in the morning, and he worked his hard, I'm gonna respect that out of there.
Yeah.
And if I'm coming hard strong, I have to be very kind and very respectful. And because was, you know, is big respect between everybody. And I'm grateful for everybody who's involved. Meg, Sean, Dana, Hunter, they made it very easy, man. I'm telling you, one of the easiest transition I ever dealt in MMA. It was easy.